Well, you're in for a treat today because I have promised you and I'm going to follow through on a video explaining what I like and don't like about this miter saw. It's the Hercules miter saw, commonly found in Harbor Freight stores, and there are some things I really like about it and a couple of things that I really don't like about it. Okay, first of all, you're going to notice that the blade is no longer blue. Okay, I I went with the blue blade for almost 4 years. Yes, I've owned this saw for almost 4 years. Went with the blue blade for almost 4 years till it just started, the edges started getting fuzzy and weird. You know how they get when they're dull. I have no complaints about the blade. I think it's a very good blade. And I thought about just getting another one of those to replace it. But this CMT orange blade, I got it for just a little bit more than that Hercules blade would have cost me. And I said, you know what? I'm going to try it. Um, it does give slightly better cuts, and I think part of that is because the kerf is slightly narrower. Okay. Um, at the end of this video, if I remember, I'm going to go ahead and change the blade and show you how to do that, just because you ought to know. It's pretty easy, really. There's really only a couple of screws and then a bolt through the middle, and you're done. It's real simple. One of them is there. You got to loosen that just a little bit to get it to slide. And then this one, you have to pull out a good portion of the way so that this part will slide up and this will get out of the way. And then you can get to that bolt that holds the blade on. It's actually pretty simple. And now that I've told you that, I might not do it on this video. Okay, a few things that I really like about it. First of all, one thing that I really like is this this stop here that holds it down. So when you're done for the day, you turn it down and hold it and push it back, and everything's good. Another thing I like, and I'm going to pull this up, but anyway, it's real easy to get to the back of it. I don't know if you can see me there, but anyway, you get to the back of it, and you can see right back here, it's got this wing nut back here that you loosen to allow it to tilt. And it goes left 45 degrees and right 45 degrees. And I really like that because you got to go both ways sometimes. One thing that I don't quite understand why it's there, and that's this little red lever. Now, the only thing I can see that does is if you turn it this way, it makes it so it only goes back so far. And that might be a good thing, like on angles or something, but I really don't see a specific benefit for it. Maybe you can. If you do, if you know what it's really supposed to do, write it in the comments. I'll be happy to read those and comment back. Okay. It's got a 13 amp motor. Is it a 13? 15 amp motor. Okay, that's the same as the DeWalt has, is a 15 amp motor. So it's got plenty of power. Takes off real nicely. See it jump? That's because I wasn't holding onto it very much. Okay, so that's good. One thing I like over here is that it bevels clear over to 60 degrees to the right, and to the left it'll do an angle of 50 degrees. Oh, I got my hose tied up here. You go an angle of 50 degrees to the left. Okay. I like that because sometimes you can't get by with just a 45 degree. Another thing, it comes with this hold down, and it's got two holes. It's got one there and one on this end behind the fence, and both of them work identically you just slip it in. You hit it right first. Slip it in and slip it down a little bit and screw down your toggle. Yeah. Anyway, simple thing. Both of these fences move in and out independently. And I like that, and yet it can be a problem. And the reason it can be a problem, can you see it from here? Let me move this camera a little bit so that you can. See that cut right there? The very first time I cut a bevel on this saw was when I did that. The very first time. And you can get a replacement fence. Personally, I'm not sure it's worth doing. It's not a big deal. It doesn't affect anything being like that. It's kind of maybe a little inconvenient, but it's not affecting anything. So it comes with the bag that helps you catch some of the dust. But I tell you, this bag never catches a lot of dust. I mean, I've filled it up a few times, but it's like there's more dust flying around than there is going in this bag. So this is something that I think they have to put it in there, but it's really not very good. It comes with this wrench, which has its own little storage clip over here. And that is a plus, in my opinion. And the reason I say that is because you can always find it. So what's this used for? Well, it's got a starred end on this end. You can see that, right? Yeah, you can see that. Anyway, that's for like this guide over here, the adjustment guide, so that you know what angle you're getting. It's got 4 screws that go down and hold it. And you can adjust that if it's off kilter just a little bit. When I got mine, and I've seen a lot of videos that say it's rock solid, perfectly on every direction when you pull it out of the box. Mine was off about a half a degree, which is about, no, that's not even, yeah, there you go. That's about a half a degree. And, you know, when you're doing miters is the only time you're really going to notice that. I mean, yeah, if you're doing high accuracy square cuts, sure, absolutely. But all you have to do, if it's off that much, loosen these 4 bolts and bump it about that much, and you're back in. And then tighten them down. And then check it, of course. Check it because you got to have it right. Okay, so next thing. All right. Next thing. Let me bring the camera around this side. And I'm just going to set it right here for right now. Okay. So on this side, I'm going to pull this out of the way. On this side, we've got a couple more things. Can you see that? Yeah, that's right about where you want it to be. Okay. See this little lever here and this screw? All right. When you use that and you pull this down, you can see that that doesn't quite touch. Well, they do that on purpose so that you can only cut through part way, so that you can do like rabbet joints and well, just rabbets in general, and dados and cut grooves and things like that. The adjustment is simple. By unscrewing and screwing in, you can adjust the height of that cut. The good thing, bad thing about that is it's easy to adjust, but it's hard to be accurate. And I wish it had a fine-tune thing on it, but it does not. Okay. Let's see. Nice, smooth slides. It has a lock feature here so that you can lock it so it doesn't go in and out. Unlock it again, and then it does slide, and you can lock that down. And this is how I do it when I close the shop for the day. It's locked down in the back. Watch this. It's got this cute little switch on the top, and oh my, it lights up your work surface. But you know the best part of this is it's a shadow guide. When you put that there and you look closely at it, you can see the shadow line where it marks it so that you know exactly where that blade is going to cut. Exactly. And no deviation at all. Okay. Another thing we've got on this is, you see this, and you see this. It's got two of those, and they are adjustable. And I've got this one on the full out position, and I've got this one on the full in position. And you notice I've got some wire hanging there. You got to put it somewhere, right? Anyway, I like that. Plus, you can see that I've got a runway coming off of it with a stop block and all that stuff. But that's cosmetics. So this port is a little bit large for the hose. It doesn't quite fit. This is your standard 1.25" hose. Doesn't quite fit in there, so I'm using a plumbing fitting. Got it at my local plumbing store. Let's see, what else? That's just about. Did I get everything? I told you about the bevel left to right, right? I think I did. Where it bevels this way and this way to 45 degrees. I think I did. If I didn't, I should. There it is. And it locks in place in a few places. Yeah, let's see. So that's about it. And lock that down. Show you a cut. Well, I'm going to do it without the safety glasses, but not without the earbuds. Right there is where it's going to hit. And if you look at that, that is right where the shadow is. No missing out on that. Nice smooth cut. Looking good on both ends. Just a breeze to use. I really love this saw. So as far as the blade goes, I can change that for you pretty quick if you want me to. You think I should? It's real simple. Oh, there's one thing over here that I do not like about that. Okay, first of all, well, I've got to get to it to do it. So let me gear up here. Okay, so here's the new package that this blade came in, but this is the old blade. And as you can see, it's the same size. It's a 12-inch. It has the 1-inch hole in it. This is a 62. This is a 72. So naturally, this one's going to cut just a little bit smoother. But this is a nice blade. And you can see the kerf on it. It's not hugely wide, but that one is just a little bit narrower. So first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to reach back here and unplug the saw, because you want to be safe when you're doing this. Then I'm going to reach over here and grab this clamp, because it's going to make my life a lot easier, and undo one screw just a little bit, pull this up, and hold it up, get into this screw and loosen that. And it's got to come out a little ways. This is one thing I don't like, is that has to come out pretty far just get to it. Okay, so there we are. Pull that up just a little more. Okay. And then, righty tighty, lefty loosey, right? Wrong, not on these. Loosening goes to the right. There. Well, you want it tight, okay? You notice I reached around here. It's got a spindle lock button over here. Spindle lock, little label here, and then the button is right here, and it just pushes in like that. Okay. And now back over here on this side. Okay. Righty tighty, lefty loosey knot. It's a pretty long screw, which is a good thing. That's a safety issue, and I would not complain about that. There's one thing about this screw that I would complain about, however. And that is, so you see that it's got your standard six-sided hex around there, just like that is. But that's another hex in there. Why is it not a star that matches this? That's my one complaint here, because that absolutely does not work. So you either have to do that or you have to go get a different tool to do that. Not a big deal because you've got that, and it's not a big deal. But it's kind of an annoyance to me. I mean, if somebody was designing this thing, why didn't they do just that one extra thing, and it would have made a difference? Don't you think? I don't know. Maybe you don't think so. If you think I'm right, put it in the comments. If you think I'm wrong, I'm too nitpicky, put that in the comments. Anyway, so you put that in there, and it looks like that. And it looks like that. You know, I've mentioned to put things in the comments, and I really do want you to. If you don't want to make a comment, that's okay. Just like the video and subscribe to my channel, and we'll all be happier people because of it. At least I will be. I don't know if you know how YouTube works, but the more likes and the more followers I have, I actually could at some point start making money from this thing. I'm not now. I don't have enough followers or enough watch time, but I don't have enough videos out there to get that much either. So every little bit helps. So go ahead and like and subscribe, and I'd really appreciate that. Okay, so there's that. Pop this out of the way, get that tightened down. Okay. And plug this thing back in. And now cut that. Okay. So here's what I was talking about. A little bit of fuzzies around that one. That's the one that I just cut. And that's the one that I cut earlier. It's got a little bit. I cut it pretty quickly, but anyway. So that's all I got for you today. Like my video, subscribe to my channel, and we will see you next time. And sometime before the first of the year, I've got an announcement to make about my channel. But I'm not doing that today. So thanks for watching. Like and subscribe. Stay tuned for my next one.